So, I met all of you guys. I'm Karen Brown. I'm a Game Art advisor for career development. So I know you guys have different advisors. It gets a little confusing, but I'm the advisor for Game Art and career development. Now, some of you, at least as far as what I have, are graduating in December or February. If you graduate in December, then you'll be assigned to us, or to me, September 24th. If you graduate February, then you'll be assigned October 22nd. So you get assigned 3 months prior to graduation. So you guys are still a little early now, but we're doing this now when things are a little bit slower for you. And as you get into Portfolio 6, time speeds up and there's a lot more going on for your portfolio. So that's why we're doing it a little bit early. I have been in career development for 8 years now, and I've been the Game Art advisor for about 3. Before that, I worked with computer animation, game art, game design, and game development. The things that we're going to talk about today are all about preparing you to start searching for jobs. And also, you guys are doing your art right now and you have a focus, but how are you going to get paid for that? How are you going to make a living on your art? So as I said, you're assigned an advisor 3 months prior to graduation. And just because you graduate, so once you walk or once you leave, our services don't end. We are here for you in some way, shape, or form, or person, as long as you need us. So it won't always be me, but there'll be someone here that you can contact for any questions that you may have. Career development is made up of 2 teams. One team is grad services, and that's the advisors and the assistants. And then the other one is the industry outreach reps. And they are the ones working with the industry, reaching out to them, finding out what is being looked for in the industry, what they want out of you guys, learning about what you guys are coming out here with, looking at your portfolios, doing critiques, coming on campus. There's networking events and there's portfolio reviews and things like that. So they're really the ones making those relationships and helping grad services pass that along to you guys. So grad services, industry outreach rep. Before I continue, I'm very big on questions. So don't feel like you can't ask questions at any point in the road. Do you have any questions about career development in general? Sounds good. So let me ask you this. Who has a resume? Okay. The people that don't have a resume, is it because you don't know what to put on it, you're scared, you don't think you have anything to put on it? What are some reasons for not having one? Just haven't sat down to do it?
A little bit of not really sitting down to do it, also because I just don't know how to really put them together.
Okay. So your school, being here at Full Sail, is helping you actually put together your resume. So let's take a look at some samples. Okay, well, it seems I've lost my other one. So let's take a look at this one.
The other ones are up on the website.
Huh?
The other ones are up on the activity. No, on the activity on FSO for them, there's other examples up there.
Oh, but I can't get to that.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Not currently.
Sorry. Okay. So in general. Okay. So a resume, and looking at this one, it's clean, it's easy to see, and it has the important information on it. You can talk to 10 different people in this office, you can talk to 10 different people in the industry, and they all like something different. The main thing is that it's clean. clean and easy to read, and it has the important information. People will say they like the orders different, or they want to see specific wording or things like that, and that can all change. But the general layout is all the same. So you want to have your name, you want to have what you are. So when I went and asked the different focuses, that would be your title. So you can put that on there. The way they can contact you, your phone number, your email address, your ArtStation link, and then if you want, you can include your LinkedIn as well. And then you would include your education. So Full Sail would be on there, and you guys are going to be getting a Bachelor's of Science degree in game art. You can include any awards that you have on there. I wouldn't include your GPA. So whether it's good or bad, we just don't want to put it on there, not because we're hiding it, but because it could bring up questions that you might not want to talk about. So they could say, well, why were you so close to a 4.0? Why didn't you get that? Why were you close to the 3.0? That kind of stuff. It's not that you're hiding it by any means. If they ask you in an interview, you can say it, but you just don't want to put it on there. And then your software is any software that you know that if an employer would sit you down at a computer that you could use. It would go in there. Your skills, these skills are art skills. So it's not the customer service or works well in a team, that kind of stuff. It's all the things that you can actually do. So texturing, modeling, rendering, mapping, all that kind of stuff will go in your skills. And then depending on what you have, you can either add work experience of any kind. So even if you're not in the industry and you don't have a job, that will show your soft skills. That will show working on a team. That will show customer service. And that goes at the bottom, so as you get more industry experience, it can come off. The industry experience that you can put on there doesn't have to be paid. So if you're working on a team to create a game, that can go on there. If you're doing freelance, that can go on there. And if you don't have either of those, you would then have a academic project section, and you would talk about what you made in your portfolio classes. So you guys have a couple more portfolios to go. You would use the ones closer to the end, how you made it. Is it game ready? What did you texture it in? What programs did you use? You would write that on there. So not knowing what to put on it is pretty much just what you've done in the last 2 years, if you don't have anything else. Does that make sense? Any questions about resumes? Okay. So we've got the resume. What else do we need to apply for a job? We need your portfolio. Now, some of you have said that your prop environment or your VFX and these kind of things. If I were to look at your portfolio, is that what it would say? Would it immediately say that I'm a character artist? Would it immediately say that I'm an environment artist? Starting now, if you haven't already done so, clean up your ArtStation. Make it focused in what you want to go after. So this portfolio is clearly for props. That's what he has. It doesn't, I'm showing you these samples not based on the work, but based on the organization. Just like your resume that I was talking about, the clean and organization and easy to see, it's the same thing that should go on your portfolio. Also, if this person wanted to apply for characters, he would not be competitive. If he wanted to apply for environments, he would not be competitive because there are not environments and there are not characters on there. Does that make sense? So clearly this is what he's going for. The other thing that I want to show you on here is that the presentation is all the same. So I'm not huge on the order. I'd rather see a beauty render here, but they all match, so it's okay. So here's his 360, here's his beauty render, and here's his wireframe as I scroll through, they all match. Here's his 360, here's his beauty render, here's his wireframe and texture. So as an employer is looking through this, they'll see the same thing. They know what they're expecting. And you'll also notice that his name and contact information is the same on all of them. So really think about cleanness and organization. A lot of the times when people are coming into my office, it's cleaning up their ArtStation. It's focusing on what you want to do. Because are you going to be competitive against other people? So if somebody, if you wanted to apply for an environment position, other people that are applying, that's all they're doing. So there should be environments on your portfolio. Now I will say it's quality over quantity. So if you have the best environment, I'm not saying make 5 others so that's all that you show. I'm saying that there should be that on there. The other one that I want to take a look at is here. So Tom's was all about props, and that's what it was. But Valerie has different folders, but they're organized. We've got a portfolio folder. We've got fine arts, we've got props, we've got all of them, and we've got studies. So that link that goes on your resume, if you're applying for characters, you would use your portfolio link. If you were applying for props, you would use this link. So there's other ways to go about which link you use. And you can have different things. So if you're going to do props and environments, you can have an environment folder, you can have a props folder, you can have a portfolio folder. So it doesn't just have to be one folder, it can be different ones as long as it's organized. So here, this is what she wanted for her portfolio. And then here's clearly props. So if I were applying for a props position, I would use that link. Does that make sense? Another good thing to have, and I haven't looked to see if they have it. Okay, so one thing that's missing on here, you've got what it is. So right now, some of your projects may say Portfolio 5, Portfolio 3, Portfolio 4. Once you start looking for a job, you want to label it what it is, instead of why you made it. And then in the description, you want to put how you made it. How did I model it? How did I texture it? How did I render it? That can go in this description. Then it'll also help you if you don't have anything to put on your resume, the academic projects will be already written for you. Good? That makes sense? Okay. Any questions on ArtStation? So we have the resume, we have the ArtStation. Then we also have LinkedIn. So the resume is something that you send out to people, that you apply for a position. ArtStation can work for you when you're not, because people can search you, and they can search you based on your work. LinkedIn, people can search you based on what you're doing, based on your degree, based on your skills, based on what you're looking for. So this is a great networking site, and it's something that works for you when you're not completely pushing it, but you want to make sure that you have the correct information on there. So, should I use me or you today? I'll use Chops. Okay. So, first things first, you want a picture. You do not want a picture like that, though. The only thing actually that you want to take off is your lanyard. Besides that, it's fine. Plain background, shirt, smiling, you can see the face, just take your wiener off. The next thing is that his title or his tagline is course director at Full Sail. If someone were to look at this, they would say, okay, he's not searching for a job. But for you guys, you can put there 3D prop artist looking for employment, 3D prop artist student, 3D student at Full Sail. You can put that there. So some people get scared and say, oh, people will know that I don't have a job. That's what LinkedIn's for. It's for people to know that you want a job. Mine says game art advisor at Full Sail. I'm not looking for a job. So you'll put right here what it is that you want. And that'll be helpful while people are looking for you. So you've got your resume. You'll then put the experience on here. And the experience can be so much longer than your resume. Because you want your resume to be one page. On here, you can put as much information as you want. I do say this every time, but Chops gave me a 3 or 4? Was it 4 or 3? 4-page resume. I had to get it down to 2. But on here, I don't care what's on it. It's fine. You can put the classes you took. You could put a bigger description. That's what this is for.
Oh, then it'd be longer.
I don't want to talk about everything. His resume was difficult. So you just want to have it match the actual experiences as your resume, but you can put longer descriptions. The other thing on here is either in your description or your contact information, you can put your portfolio, you can put your email, you can put any of this kind of stuff, but somewhere on your LinkedIn, you want your ArtStation. And then the other thing, which you've got your education, and then you can put your skills on here as well. So it's a resume, but just with more information, and it's a searchable one. So that's just setting up your profile. The next thing you can do is search. So what is someone's dream company? Just tell me what it is.
Granite.
What? SquareNex? I'm really bad at spelling, so don't judge. Haha, pulled right up. Okay, so here's SquareNex page on LinkedIn. You can follow them, but then what else you can do is you can look at the employees. So if I go to this page, here's a list of the employees. There's a couple things that you can do with this. One, you could reach out to someone that does the same thing as you. Let's see. Usually they just pop up, but they're not. Or you could reach out to, so this person right here is General Manager of Community and Service Division. You could reach out to them, find out what the company is looking for. You could look into HR, you could look into recruiters. You could search for them that way. If there was someone on here that was an artist, you could also look into their profile to see the other companies that they worked at. So you could kind of find the path that you might be interested in. You can also search by school. So there's 2 people here. They're not quite doing what you guys want to do, but there's 2 people that work at the company you want to work at, and they went to Full Sail. So you have a connection with them. You have Full Sail. And you could reach out to them and say, hey, how did you make it from Full Sail to this company? What's the day-to-day like? The best way to be networking with people is to ask ask them about themselves or compliment them. Think about how you'd be most willing to reply to someone. Is it if you ask them for something, or if somebody asks you for something, or is it if they complimented you? So if you looked at their portfolio, hey, this is really cool. I'm about to be graduating. I'd be interested in something like this. Or can you tell me about how you made it? How you made that creature, or how you made that environment, things like that. So this is a great place for networking. The other reason I like LinkedIn is because you can go to Full Sail's page. Again, you can follow them, but this time, instead of looking at the employees, you're going to look at alumni. So if I go to alumni, I'm going to get this long list. So you can search for someone that, say, you want to see who's in Florida, and you want to see who's doing arts and design. You can then look at where they're working. So maybe these are some companies that you want to take a look at. But you'll also find a list of people that are in arts and design, graduated Full Sail, and are in your area. So they might be people you want to connect with. LinkedIn is not the only way to network. It's the first line of finding somebody. It's the most professional one. But if you meet somebody out and about, if you meet them at a networking event, at a conference, at any of those places, and they say, hey, hit me up on Twitter, hey, hit me up on Facebook, do that. Because that's the best way you're going to get the response. This is the way to find somebody. That makes sense? Any questions yet about how to prepare to start finding a job? So, who has started looking for a job? Okay, what have you guys been using to search for jobs?
I use ArtStation because they have job listings. I use Glassdoor to research different companies. I use Indeed.
Okay.
Just random Google searches.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Someone over there.
Pretty much the same, and like going to the companies I was looking at and looking at their job listings and kind of figuring out what they need and qualifications for each of those.
Perfect. So I like to break up job search into two different categories. One is using the search engines. Search for location or title that you want to go after. Another one is by location and using company websites. So there's different resources to do both. Have you guys thought about where you want to go after graduation? Where you can feasibly move, or what you have to do? So that's the first step. People will come in and tell me that they can go anywhere and do anything. As much as you might think that that's easy, it's really hard. Because where do you start? Where do you start searching? How do you know the best place to go? So what I like to suggest is picking a location that you have somebody, a place that you like, or place that you live. So like Florida if you're here or at home. And then you can start searching that way. So let's start first with locations. Has anybody been on Game Dev Map? Okay. Love Game Dev Map for the location-based searching. All those red dots have game companies. Thing to think about is, though, it's a game dev map. So it's not a game art map, it's game dev. But it will give you some big lists and helpful to look through. So if I go to Austin, I now have 87 companies to look at. So let's say I want to take a look at Hellfire Games. I would look at this company to see what their jobs are. Right now they don't have them. But we want to make sure that it's not just a developer and that they hire artists. So you could also take this company and use LinkedIn to search. Nope, that's not them. But you can search to see who's there. So they can work hand in hand. Nope. Okay. I'm picking bad examples today, guys, sorry. But that's what you can do. So you can take Game Dev Map, look by location, look at the company, make sure they hire artists, and then from there use LinkedIn to search people. So that's one trail of how to do things. Another way is to go to search engines. And a site that I like is Orca HQ, because it'll give you a long list from different locations. Now, when you're searching for jobs, what are some keywords that you're using? When you were searching, what were you using?
I looked up visual effects, VFX,
Okay.
real-time VFX.
That's right, your VFX. Forgot about that.
3D artist.
Okay.
Because I even though I really like the visual effects, I'm not discounting like pop jobs or environment jobs either. Just in
Okay.
case.
Just remember, if you're looking at those, you better have props and models on your portfolio. What kind of keywords were you using? Oh wait, you were looking
I
at
was
their.
looking at companies.
You were looking
but
at
I was,
companies.
when I do general, it's just anything to do with environments, either interiors, exteriors, like
Okay.
plants or.
So something that might be helpful is if you search 3D artist, 3D modeler, or programs. And the reason for this is not every company knows what to call their positions. An environment could still be 3D artists because they don't know what to call it. We get leads into our system that are called 3D artists, and they're actually animators. Yeah. Employers don't know what to call their positions. Best example I can give you is a simulation company. Their position was called 3D engineer. They were a modeler. So just because a title says something, make sure to read the description. Make sure to read what it entails. For Orca, I can put in 3D, and then I get this long list. And I can just go through there. Some of them are called environment artists, some of them are animators, and I would just go through and read the descriptions. There is also Glassdoor. Glassdoor I like because you can do a lot of different things on here. You can search for jobs, you can research the companies, you can also look at salaries. So you can compare salaries, help you get the answer on what you should ask for, or what you should be expecting. But an awesome thing is interviews. So say you apply to a position and they're interested in interviewing you. You can search on here to see if somebody else has interviewed there before, and they have a list of interview questions. This is a well-rounded site. Pretty cool. Okay, so now, another site that you guys will get access to when you're assigned is CareerSync. And this is going to be your career development version of Connect. It's going to have all the information on here that you need to stay in touch with career development. On your homepage, there's going to be information about events. So October 9th, which you guys should all still be here for, there'll be a career networking event on campus. It'll be in live. Let's see. And most of you will be assigned by then. And even if you're not, you can come in during Open Door, which is happening right now. It happens every Wednesday from 11 to 1:45, and you can prepare for this event. This event will be set up kind of like a convention or a job fair, and it just has rows of tables and companies. So it's a that you'll see on here are jobs, resumes, employers, and appointments, which they keep changing the name of. Once you get assigned to career development, you will get full access to CareerSync. Once you're on CareerSync, you want to upload your resume on there, because once you have a approved resume, you'll be able to apply for jobs that are posted on there. And those are the jobs that the industry outreach are bringing in. So this will be another resource for you to search for jobs. Another really good thing on here is the employers page. So those employers that we were talking about, that the industry outreach is making a connection with, all the people that we've worked with have been on campus, have had job postings for the last 6 months. There'll be a list of them. And you can search by the type of company that they are and their location. So another place to look. It's got the search engine in here, and it also has by companies. So both of the ways that we were talking about searching for a job are on this site. Another thing that you'll be able to do is you'll be able to schedule appointments. So once you're assigned and you want to meet one-on-one to talk more in depth about your job search, your resume, and things like that, you can schedule an appointment. The one thing that I do ask is that when you come with questions, you come with resume, and you come telling me what you've already started searching, since we're going over all of that now. But then you guys can meet with me or email me or talk with me as much as you want. There's no maximum or minimum. So CareerSync will be available to you. The other things are available to you now. The other two things that I would like to talk to you about, because they just made a huge update on this. Who is on the Full Sail 3D Arts Discord? Okay. CHOP should have the link, the invite.
It's in the activity.
Okay. I would suggest you guys get on this, if not now, soon. And I'm just going to talk about the job stuff because they just made a whole section for me. That's awesome. But there's other resources on here for you. So if Discord is what you're on the most and it's the easiest way for you to communicate, there's a section for question and answers. There's a place for me to post job opportunities, the ones that are on CareerSync and ones that I find as well. There's portfolio reviews, there's resume reviews, and so pretty much all the stuff that we just talked about can now be talked about more between people on Discord and myself on here. So these are some of the job postings that I've been posting on there. It's a great resource. I love the update that they've just made. So, and I can also be reached on here if you need any communication. So during the days when I'm in the office, I always have that up. So you can reach out to me on there. Facebook as well. Once you're 3 months prior to graduation, you'll have access to the CG Artist Group if Facebook is something that you use. And on here, alumni from computer animation and game art and our department will post job opportunities and things happening in the industry. So this is another great resource, and I'm available on here for any questions that you may have if Facebook is something that you use more than Discord. So we're available any of those ways. Now, what questions do you have? Because I just gave you a whole bunch of information. Anybody's head spinning? Is good? Jobs. Yeah.
Well, I do have some questions.
Uh-huh.
For international students, like what will be the process? Because after all, there's laws and everything.
So I can't go into specifics, but this is what I know. You're going to want to talk to International, and you're going to want to apply for your OPT. And they're going to help you with the date range, because there's that 90-day grace period. But once you have that OPT, you can apply for jobs. And while you're waiting for your OPT in the 90 days, you can apply for jobs. You just can't accept anything. So you can still be searching and researching and applying, but if they were to offer you something, you can't accept it until you have that OPT. And then once you get that OPT, you'll be good, but they have all the rules and specifics and things like that. Something that I would suggest for then making sure that you talk to them about applying in the time frame, but also really talking to or asking them about different people who have already graduated and their kind of position, because, and this is going to be the same thing about locals, international, and that kind of stuff. So if there's one person, or there's two people and they have the same skills, one person needs a visa and one person doesn't, they're going to probably go with the person who doesn't need the visa. So that's just thinking about making sure that your game is really good, making sure that your skills are really good. It's the same thing if two people are applying for the jobs, they have the same skills, one person's in Florida, one person's in California, the job's in California. Who are they going to go with?
One in California.
So those are just things to think about all the way through. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Did you have other questions? Okay. Does anybody else have questions? It's not scary, I promise.
You guys all should have had at least 2 questions each.
One just kind of got answered.
Yeah.
It was about looking abroad, going so other countries internationally.
Okay.
So is it still a possibility then, or should you kind of wane away from it?
No, I wouldn't wane away from it at all. And there's a site that you guys are going to have access to through Full Sail. It's called Going Global. Remember that tech issue that I said I was having? I forgot to bring that up. There's a site, and once you get access to CareerSync, you'll get this. And this isn't the same link. The link that you'll have will have Full Sail on here, so you'll have access to everything. But the great thing about this site is that you can be a U.S. citizen wanting to go to another country, and it'll have information about visas and searching for jobs there and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So all those resources. And then for international, it has a section about the H-1B visa. And so you can search what companies have recently helped get visas for employees and look at those places. So this site is great for either you staying here or you going somewhere else. And it has all those search engines in there. It's also another place to take a look at for career guides, because I don't think they're going to give me access. Because if you're searching for a specific location, there's about 40 different cities on here. So if you've never lived there and you want to go there, it'll talk about the culture. It'll talk about financial. It will give you specific search engines for those cities. And this is all available to you through Full Sail. Yes.
Will it also help us if we're married and we also have to bring our family with us too?
What do you mean by that?
So you said that it's gonna help us understand visas and all that stuff,
Mhm.
but is that just for us, or will that also pertain to our
So
spouse as
it's
well?
not specific to one person. It's talking about what a person needs for a visa.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not just saying Full Sail graduates. This is just global information for everybody. Mhm. Yeah, so I do not want to steer you away from that.
Okay, yeah.
At all. Between this game dev map, because the game dev map, if you saw,
Is international.
it got everything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying.
Mhm.
Asking.
And right now, CD Projekt Red is booming with openings, and they're in Poland.
That's when I was looking at it. Project Red is a long list.
There's so many of them right now. Yeah.
And a lot of the foreign countries will have whatever language the country speaks will have language classes for
Mhm.
you. They will have other things. It could very well be that in the main hub, the town itself will speak English, but as soon as you leave city
Anywhere
borders,
else,
they
yeah.
don't speak English.
Yeah.
And then another thing for if you're looking, this is the Orca HQ that I was talking about. You can search here and they have different countries as well. So there are resources out there for searching in different countries. So yes, no, do not want to say no to that at all. And it's really what you feel that you can do. So me saying you should be in the state or the country that you want to apply to only means if you're confident that you can make it there. I would not say, okay, you have no money, pick up and go somewhere else. I wouldn't say that. But if you have somebody that you could stay with, that's great. I moved here from Connecticut 12 years ago. I had a place to stay but no job. So I at least had some place to stay. And then I found a job while I was here. So there's different ways, but do what's best for you. If you know that you need to be close to home, make it work. And by making it work, you can use your skills that maybe aren't game related, but they're 3D related. Because I think someone was talking about architectural, if you're doing environments, or landscaping. Landscaping even has the 3D models of those. So there's different options. If you're doing characters, there's medical, there's legal reenactments. So there's different options. There's simulation. If you want to stay local to Central Florida, there's tons of simulation companies. This is the big hub for them. So there's different options. Any other questions? I'm going to cheat from some of your old questions and see. Okay, so has anybody thought of working freelance? Okay, has anybody looked into that? No? Okay, so what kind of information have you found?
I work freelance.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So do you promote yourself? Are you on a website?
I usually just post my stuff everywhere.
Okay.
They were the ones that reached out to me.
Okay. So there is a difference between freelance and a company. Maybe to gain experience, freelance might be something that you want to do, but make sure that you've done your research. So searching for a job and freelance are kind of the same, because you want to make sure that you know what the company is about, you know what they're asking for, but with freelance, you also want to know how long it might take you to make something, or what you should be getting for pay, or if you need a contract, or all these things, you should feel confident in yourself when reaching out there. There are different websites for freelance. So say you need to live in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. Freelance might be an option. So there are different things to think about. If you're a person that needs that 9 to 5, I need to go into the office, the actual company is something that you might look into. So it's really about knowing yourself.
If you're going to do freelance, just keep in mind, ask yourself, there's several questions you need to ask yourself. One of them is, do you need health insurance? Some of us do, some of us don't. Freelance does not come with health insurance unless you pay for it yourself. Okay? Freelance, when you first start off, you probably won't be getting the amount that you want. You're probably going to be taking a small pay cut of what you need so you can get your name out there, so you can build up some type of revenue, so you can start asking for more money. The other thing to keep in mind too when you work freelance is ask a lot of questions up front. If they say, oh, we're going to be having you send us your models, I'm like, sweet. It can't be that simple. Do I need a Dropbox? Is there a Google link? Is there a shared drive? Is there something specifically that I need to deliver my files to in order for me to get my check? Then ask about the payment process. Do I get paid at the end of the project? Do I get paid by milestone?
And that comes from doing the research and knowing yourself as well. Because if you ever feel uncomfortable or that something is sketchy, make sure you put a watermark on your work. So there's that. So all of this is about researching and knowing yourself. Where can you end up? What can you feasibly do? One of the other things, okay, so when you start applying, and I hear this a lot, people say they're asking for experience, but how do I get experience if they won't give me a job? Right? Okay, so the lead recruiter from ZeniMax was here. Did you guys go to that presentation?
Yes.
Okay, so do you remember what he said about how to get experience?
Pretty sure he said if your work shows that you've been doing it for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, pretty much it was like they want a certain skills to be as if you were doing something for 2 years. So you don't necessarily have to be in the industry, but if you can showcase that you understand 2 years worth of knowledge that someone should have, then you can still
And what's
apply.
another thing that he said about how to get experience as well? To have experience to put on your resume. So yes, that's an option, but there was one other thing.
By putting in the same hours that someone at the actual job does.
Close. Yeah. So there's projects and creating a game. So even if you're not being paid for it, if you put together artists to make art for the game, or if you put together a group for game design, game development, game art, and you're working on a game, that's experience. Just because you didn't get paid, it's still an option, it's still experience. Do you guys know one way that you can do that at Full Sail? Besides doing it yourself?
There's a game dev. Yeah.
So there's an internship. There's an internship after graduation, and it's for working with either game design or game development to help them make their game. So it's you making art for the game. That's experience. That's great on your resume. That's what he's talking about. Because you're in that game environment. You're in that pipeline. So if staying here is something that you can feasibly do, that's an option available to you. And if you have questions about that, you can ask Chops or you can ask me. We both know who to contact. And so keep in mind that it's not paid, but it is experience.
And one of the nice caveats with that is if you work on one team, it's 4 months worth of experience, even if you only worked on 1 or 2 items for the game. So I've seen students work for 4 teams in 1 month, and they got almost a year worth of experience on it. Because they were able to list 3 titles, 4 months each, because they worked with a team and they delivered things for the deadlines. So.
Let me ask you this question. You've got work that you need to do for your portfolio. Who's been working on projects or art or models of your own personal projects? Continue that always. That's huge. That's huge for you when searching for a job. When I meet with people and all they have on their portfolio is classwork, they're not as strong as people who continue to work on other projects. It makes you stronger and it makes you look better. So there's also the aspect of if it's a personal project, you're putting more heart into it. Right now, school is deadlines, grades, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes your personal projects and even in internships can come out better because you're going through this.
For like internships, since Full Sail like vacation is really not that big, and most of internships are like summer internship, winter internship,
Mm-hmm.
and they usually require you to come back from there to Full Sail? Like, how do you do this
Okay.
in Full Sail?
So Full Sail internships are a little bit different because we're so accelerated. So there's two options. There's one where you can do an internship on campus, and that would either be the one with game dev or game design, or it would be with a course director. So those are your two options here, and that's after graduation. If you apply for an internship at any companies, right now, for sure, I know about 2 companies that don't work with us, but pretty much every other company works with us. So Blizzard and Disney do not work with us. If you want Blizzard, apply right now, because you need to be a student.
Mhm.
So if that's where you want to go, work on that right now. But besides that, we have paperwork and we can send them. So you'll be enrolled in extended studies to do the internship. The reason Blizzard doesn't work with us is because we can do it after graduation and they want you to come back to school.
Mhm.
So that's why they don't. Disney, you have to be a student when you apply. So that's a little bit different, but almost everywhere else so far has worked with us. So there's those options as well. You can just let them know when you're filling it out that you'd be in extended studies. So, and you would get credit on your transcript. It's not credit towards graduation, but it's credit on your transcript for that. Did that answer your question? Did it make you sad? Also, if Blizzard's where you want to go, look at the art contest.
Yeah.
Because Blizzard is very big on hiring from the art contests and their internships. So those are huge. And then there's also making those connections now. So with LinkedIn, I connected to Pete Cooper from Riot. He's a Full Sail grad. He came just by reaching out on LinkedIn. Blizzard was here and gave demo critiques, portfolio critiques, and and I don't think any of you said animation, but the animation director is open to giving critiques. So people in the industry, I'm not saying all of them, you're gonna have to try a lot of different people before you get some good feedback, but there's people in the industry that are willing to help and willing to critique. And so that's why you're asking for critiques and not for a job. So it's really about what you put into it, the networking, the research, the work that you're showing on your portfolio. Who is going to Orlando IX? Okay, those tickets are free. I don't know if that's still there, but as far as I know, they're still free for students. Yes.
This one I know, Alex.
It's going to be here on campus, and it's not a networking event, it's not a job event, but it's got a lot of different companies and a lot of different products that are coming here for the technology info
Like your
showcase. Yeah. So even though it's not specifically networking, we're gonna be talking to people from some companies this month. look on Connect. It should be on Connect for you guys. And there's presentations and panels and things like that. It's since it's free, it's a good thing to check out. As long as you guys don't have questions, that's all the information on there. Once you get assigned to career development, you will get an email that you can come in, schedule appointments. You'll be notified about information on CareerSync. And until then, because you guys aren't being bombarded yet, start doing some research. And all of this, most of the stuff, I think there might be 1 or 2 things missing, but all the stuff that we talked about today is in the activity that he's talking about. All the links, the resumes, Discord, all that kind of stuff. So the sooner you start with that, you guys are in a good place. And And this is another reason why Chops and I picked this class, is because you still have time. And you can always come up during open door. You might not get me, but you'll get someone on the team to answer any questions. That's good. You good?